And this is a draft season podcast. It is your boy Young Raz. I'm coming live from where I usually come from, and we're back with another draft profile in this upcoming NBA draft. We're talking about a very talented player today, but before we get into that, Sean, talk to him real quick.
Yes, sir. You already know. We're talking about Scottie Barnes out the factory, out the pipeline, the FSU pipeline. You already know. Draft Season podcast. We're very big Leonard Hamilton fans. But yeah, man, we talking about Scottie Barnes today. We've seen, Bleacher Report reported. He's a fit at 5 for the Magic, and he would also the Thunder would consider taking him at 6. So, Scottie Barnes has, the upside is, it's something that a lot of teams can see as that glue piece and somebody on the wing who can do a lot to contribute early, from day one, when he gets into the league. So let's get straight into this Scottie Barnes takes. Raz, you're a huge Scottie Barnes fan, my guy. We've had this conversation earlier on the podcast. So take it away. Give me the pitch. What's the read on Scottie Barnes, bro?
So Scottie Barnes, I feel like we do this every year. So he's gonna fall right into that mold of these Florida State wings that come out ready to play. And they may not start at Florida State, but they flash such potential and such skill sets that you are kind of salivating as a scout at the next level for them as to projecting where they fit and what kind of role they'll play. So Scottie, he's out of Mount Bird, the factory that is a high school, it produces stars. And he went to Florida State.
Oak Hill South, basically. Yeah,
Oak Hill South, a place where we have grown to love wing defenders and wing players from there. And just start off with the basics. He's 6'8", 225 listed there. He has great positional size, great length to either play your 3 or your 4. He has above average playmaking for his position. I like the way that he's able to handle the ball. Now, by no means does he have the greatest handle, but it's serviceable. And he has the room to grow there. In terms of just more upside, transition is just one of those things that if you're watching Scottie Barnes, he can play in transition on any spot in transition, whether it's filling the lane, the trailer, or even pushing it down the middle from the rebound. He has that type of capability to be instant offense off of the fast break. Quick hands and quick feet on defense, and he uses all of that length to compete for rebounds.
Just like a random thought here, man, because whenever we talk about these these oversized wings that are like 6'8" plus, it's basically the curse of Kevin Durant, man. Because every time we think of somebody in this mold, when we say Scottie Barnes he's an adequate ball handler for somebody who's 6'9", 225. Normally, you normally don't make lead ball handlers 6'9", 225. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Durant, these guys who, the fluidity that Kevin Durant is able to dribble with, even somebody like Paul George, those guys have really just fucked up and mucked up the entire calculus
for sure
of how we see these guys.
We're thinking that these players are supposed to come out with those type of offensive bags, and these guys are one-to-ones. Paul George, as much hate as we give him on this show, or as much hate as I give him on this show, he's a very talented guy and he's a freak of nature. Same with Kevin Durant. These dudes aren't prototypes.
Yeah, even no, these guys are outliers and skill development outliers, and the level that these guys have reached in their careers is ridiculous. But yeah, touching on Scottie Barnes has we could call his skill set unusual, because normally I don't think we're getting even staying there. His ability to it makes him his skill set is going to be extremely valuable in a motion-based offense, I would say. If we're just getting to what needs to happen for Scottie Barnes to reach his upside, just straight up, at the NBA level, it's going to be rough for him creating his own shot, and teams really aren't going to respect his ability to score. Only once he gets to the teeth of the defense. He has to get all the way to the teeth of the defense to really be somebody that is threatening your defense. His mid-range game needs to improve for a skill set like this. But his skill set is really unusual. But on the other side, he's a basketball player. You watch Scottie and his instincts on the offensive end, his instincts on both sides just tell you he has, a game that's going to be able to find. We don't know where or how his game is going to fit to this point in the NBA, but it's going to do something. And he has skill set. He has a natural feel for the game. He's going to be able to make an impact even when he's not scoring, which is a part of the safety in this profile, like it's gonna like he's gonna be able to contribute. Now, when we talk about it, and like even like I said, we hate comps. People throwing out a Draymond comp for
yeah, and I mean Draymond obviously coming out of college wasn't highly touted. I mean, if you watch Michigan State, like me, you can see the skill sets that can translate. But like Draymond, also we got to stop comparing. Like these player comps are killing these kids because Draymond's a 101, right? And one thing that I will say is Scottie Barnes has way more offensive potential than Draymond Green. If we're being honest, right? Like his ability to shoot is not there yet, but the willingness to do it is one of those things where I know that he's going to be able to work on that if he gets into the right system. And to your point, he has to get into the teeth of the defense to be a threat. But if he's foul line down and he's headed downhill, it's usually a good pass or a basket. So he needs to work on that shooting to where he doesn't have to attack the trees all the time. He can hit a quick pull up in the mid range and work on that corner three, which has become so pivotal and so much of a weapon in the NBA. I think he works on those. His floor is obviously high already, but his ceiling becomes 30 times higher with just the addition of a corner three and some type of pull up work.
Yeah, when we talk about like we'll get to the fit in a second with Scottie Barnes, but he's gonna need a creator who, and it's gonna be a fit made in heaven when we get to a creator who he's a plus offensive guard probably, but probably needs somebody who can do a lot of defensive dirty work. And Scottie Barnes has the potential to be a really solid all-ball defender. His length, his wingspan really disrupts shooters. That's one thing. We hear this more when we talk about rim protectors, and you hear like whenever somebody gets into the paint, hearing footsteps, and his presence was felt. Scottie Barnes on the wing, whenever he's in good position on his closeouts, you can tell just his length and his speed getting out to shooters on the perimeter. It really does make guys uncomfortable. So that's something that his defensive upside, his ability to, like I said, not necessarily I don't think nobody's going to call him a hyper athlete, and he does a lot of his athleticism is definitely something that it's going to be on the lower side, but his IQ for his game is probably going to make up for what he lacks in athleticism. Even getting onto his shooting at the rim, which ended up as a plus. He shot 64% on 85 rim attempts, Raz, and like we did mention, once he gets to the teeth of the defense, he's not a high flyer. He probably it takes him a lot to get off of his feet. Definitely takes him a minute to load off of 2 feet, which is that's probably gonna lower his upside, or it's just gonna be something to watch against bigger guys going up against at the next level. But going on to his shot, because if we could project even a league average shooter from his shot, I think that top 5 projection is he would be going inside the top 5 without a doubt cleanly. But yeah, that shot, I think he has a long way to go on this shot. I can get your thoughts on how advanced you think the shot is, but yeah, he has a long way to go on the shot. He has a really slow release. He's gonna have a difficult time getting that jumper off against lengthier NBA guys, but I just think just talking about the entire package here for Scottie, the intrigue starts with the size and length. And when we talk about just his feel for the game, it probably takes him over the top as a prospect. His passing is definitely my favorite attribute of Scottie. We talk about it a lot, but his ability to look over the top of defense, and his best pass that he definitely has in his bag is that overhead pass where he's able to, it's a jump pass, but he's able to really, survey what's going on in front of him. But I think, just grading him on a scale, one thing that he could add to his game that definitely would make him, just a bigger threat on offense is, having a capable post game. He's going to be able to, I feel like in the league, he's going to be in a situation where he's going to be in a lot of mismatch situations where if nobody's going to be falling, he's like, people are not going to be closing out hard on him. And, he's going to end up in a lot of situations where he has, mismatched smaller guards on him. Being able, and he has the dribble package where he's going to be able to like back these guys down, but he's going to have to get to a level with his offensive game, a short hook and like those intermediate facets of his game, having something to where he could really damage mismatches is going to be, that would be huge for him. Getting to a consistent 2-level scorer, that's going to be, that takes away some of, as we mentioned before, what he's losing, with the suspect, the suspect shooting range, we could say, and suspect touch. Some of his shots definitely had, he had some clinkers in there, to say the least.
For sure.
Yeah, there's going to be some clinkers in there.
I think just, in terms of his shooting, he had, he's shown that he's not as scared to take that shot. And, some of the players that we've seen in his position so far have shown the unwillingness to even shoot the open ones. So I think just in terms of just the potential of working on it, I think, one of these professional shooting coaches can get a hold of him and make him serviceable. I don't foresee him being a super lights out shooter, but I don't think having him on the court going forward, in his NBA career is going to be a hindrance to you at the free throw line, are just, one of those guys where the defense is really going to super sag off, because realistically, you sag off enough on Scottie, he'll make you pay with his passing and a running head start to the rim. He has the ability to make you pay from that. So I think it's one of those things where he has the potential to grow offensively. And I think it's one of those where it's like, where is he going to land? And if we're, saying what you said earlier, he could go in the top 5, right? So that leaves him at Orlando, maybe Toronto. I don't really see Toronto taking him with the pieces that they have. But if you're looking from in between that 5 to 10 range, and you're looking at Orlando, OKC, Golden State, Orlando might get 2 cracks at him. Orlando could go 5 or 8 with Scottie Barnes, and I see that as, that's hell. You get him and Jonathan Isaac healthy on the wing. That's a lot of defense out there. That's a lot of defense. Now, would you argue that they are similar players? For sure, but I think Scottie Barnes has more of the offensive tools than Isaac.
Neither of them can shoot.
No, neither of them can shoot, but I think Scottie's more of a playmaker and a facilitator than Jonathan Isaac would be.
For sure.
It would be tough to play them together, I would think, just from a fit standpoint, unless you're putting Isaac as the 5, in a small ball situation, which isn't a bad idea. But they don't pay us to coach, so we get back into the scouting. I'm not mad at Sacramento either. Other than Sacramento's a horrible organization. I could see him being a good fit there, and then even in New Orleans. Now, if he starts to slip to, obviously, like Charlotte, Indiana, between that 10 to 15 range, I think Charlotte would be a perfect place for him.
Yeah, and even going back to the shooting for 1 second, Barnes shot 11 for 40 on 3-pointers this year, 27%. He has a really long way to go. But I think even going back to, you mentioned it with Orlando, and getting into the fact that I think he has the skill set to play, to really to handle the ball. But defensively, as he's listed as 6'9", 225. I do think there might be some small ball 5 in his future, and I think he's not there yet physically. But I do wonder, because his shooting is going to be a problem, and his shooting is going to be a problem for his first couple years in the league. If he comes out, by year 3, year 4, and he's showing a blossoming 3-point shot, I think that's a great sign. It's something that I think he has a long way to get there to just respectability on that end. So, but when we talk about his defensive instincts, I do think he's shown the ability, his IQ on defense, that's really a part of, the selling point on Scottie Barnes. His what he lacks in, let's say, foot speed and explosiveness and just vertical, he makes up for it in just understanding what's going on in the basketball court. Going back to the plays that he made, and I get it from the reads that he was making offensively, just showing his acute awareness of what's going on. And I think the last point, and for me at least, on Scottie Barnes, and the kid has shown the ability to play his role and star within that role. So, like, if we're talking about in a more up tempo offense where he's playing with shooters and other guys who can, like, you know, like handle the ball, you know, that's going to put him in better situations where if a defense, you know, if you know the point, you know, I know, like the point, like everybody is going to, you know, benefit from NBA spacing, and you know, in a simplified offense where you're only asking him to either, you know, put the ball on the court and get straight to the rim, or he's shown the ability to take 2 dribbles, you know, rise up and find a weak side shooter, you know. And I would say if we're just talking about like comparing it to the other wings, I don't know if there's another wing in this class not named Cade Cunningham who's a better passer. Maybe Josh Giddey, but you know, there's not, you know, the wings in this class, his ability to pass and really, you know, probe the defense, and even as somebody who defenses didn't really respect, but still being able to probe with a live dribble, you know, and getting the defense to clamp and collapse to the point where a shooter can be found. I think, you know, that skill set and that ability to really bring you somebody who could be a point of attack defender and show you good and have good instincts as an off ball defender as well. You know, I think that's all. Is that worth a top 5 pick? You know, it's going to be a hindsight play on it to where, you know, if he shoots, you know, it's going to be worth it. If he doesn't, you know, the avenue towards getting there is going to be deeper. But Scottie Barnes is somebody who's a winner. He's won on different levels. You know, he's shown that experience playing, you know, on the FIBA experience with United States youth squads, 2017 under 16 America's Championship, 2018 under 17 World Cup. And I think he did win a gold medal with them in the 2019 under 19 World Cup as well. So, yeah, he finished as the number 6. Yep, he finished as the number 6 overall prospect in, you know, the high school rankings. And, you know, I think Scottie Barnes, he's definitely somebody who, you know, I'm a little, you know, skeptical and gun shy of a fit of sending him to OKC or Orlando, but he definitely fits the T as somebody. He also fits me as he seems like a Grizzly pick, Raz. The Grizzlies aren't going to be in range for him, but he definitely strikes me as somebody who would fit well.
Yeah, he would fit well with that
like
team. I could see him, you know, a sick lineup of him, Dylan Brooks, that lunatic, Slow-Mo, Scottie Barnes, and like Jaren Jackson on a small ball lineup, and I feel like they would fly. They would run up. Other than Slow-Mo, they would have great pace up and down the court.
But yeah, man, that's been the Scottie Barnes breakdown. Let us know in the comments, what do you think of Scottie Barnes? Where do you want to see him end up on the 2021 drafts? Draft Season Podcast. Make sure you smashing that like and subscribe to the channel. Content coming to y'all daily. We out of here.